Rock and Stone Miners, I'm your host, Get Good Fox, and welcome to your survival guide for this week's Deep Dive, plus Elite Deep Dive for the week of February 17th until, well, next Thursday. I'm going to go and take you through all of the mission conditions and tell you what to expect, a condensed version of my 3-hour stream where we overcame both of the deep dives. Let's go ahead and get started with the regular deep dives. So the deep dive is going to occur within the biome of Hollowbow, so be prepared for unique threats to the biome, such as the Stabber Vine. Mission 1 will be Hazard 3 difficulty, and your objectives will be to protect the Drill Dozer, so you'll be doing an escort mission with 1 refuel, and you're going to repair 2 mini mules. Note that it says repair and not salvage. You just got to get the mini mules back up and running. You don't have to go through the whole pod recovery process. Also remember that the mini mules will give you a little bit of nitra and gold when you repair them. As far as the mission reviews, very routine. It's going to feel just like doing a Hazard 3 escort mission, so if you can do that, it's in the bag. A few tips for the Amaran Heart, though, for the newer players. Remember that multiple people repairing the Drill Dozer doesn't help. You just need one person doing it. When the rocks appear during the final defense, remember that the engineer and the gunner excel at this task, and when the beamers appear in the final phase, the driller can drill them down, the gunner can blast off their tips with his primary weapon, and if you have any kind of weapon capable of mining, it will destroy the beamers. Onward to mission 2, though. Difficulty's bumped up to Hazard 3.5, so you're going to have to collect 7 a quark, so it's a point extraction mission, but you're also going to have to knock out a Dreadnought, which is going to be the Dreadnought Twins. There's a mutator in effect, and it's warning exploder infestation, so you will constantly be swarmed by self-destructing annoyances. As far as the mission review goes, the first thing you want to know is that something awakened my boss fight strangely early. I suspect that the cocoon was right where the mine head deployed into and cracked open the cocoon, so it triggered right off the bat. So, well, might as well talk about the Dreadnought Twins. What you want to do is try to damage them evenly, because the rules to their healing is that the one with lower health catches up to the one with higher health, so if their health is rather similar, they will barely heal for anything. Other things of interest included a Huli Hoarder that I regretfully could not get because of the chaos of the early release Dreadnought, and I found a golden loot bug. My last line of advice would be for the exploders. Just check your surroundings every 30 seconds or so. Exploders punish people who get tunnel vision, and you will encounter some Stabber Vines. The way you kill them, if you don't know, is target the yellow spongy joint connecting the blade to the vine shaft. Well, let's go ahead and move into the final mission. Mission 3. Difficulty stays at Hazard 3.5. Objectives will be to collect 200 Morkite and kill 1 last Dreadnought. It will be a Dreadnought Hive Guard. There's 1 mutator in effect, and it's warning Swarmageddon, so goodbye Exploders, hello Swarmlings. As far as the mission review goes, there's going to be Stabber Vines, so get ready to deal with them. In addition to that, the boss is pretty close to where you drop in, and yep, you're going to be dealing with Swarmageddon while you're fighting the boss. My main advice here would be to use the sludge combo. That is, get your driller with a sludge pump, use a secondary weapon, the Colette Wave Cooker, and get the contaminant transmitter upgrade for it. Sludge them, then hit them with the Wave Cooker, and that'll double debuff their movement speed. Slows the boss down to a crawl. Basically, it's kind of like wrangling the boss like you're a cowboy, and the slow movement speeds just devastate its ability to fight back. If you don't have that, well, you have to take them out the old-fashioned way. Beware for the explosive landmines. It creates the crystalline landmines. Whenever its health is vulnerable, it will stomp and send these out. They do quite a bit of damage, so just be a little careful. And one last trick up their sleeve is a cave leech and more Stabber Vines towards the very end of the cave. Alright though, so enough of the deep dives. Let's move into the Elite Deep Dive, which is going to take place in the Glacial Strata biome. That means beware of inopportune blizzards trying to ruin everything. Mission 1 will have a difficulty of Hazard 4.5. Your objectives will be to collect 4 alien eggs. Expect 1 swarm triggered out of the 4 eggs. You'll also have to collect 150 Morkite. And overall, I'm going to say this is actually a fairly routine missions by the standards of Elite Deep Dive. Remember, it's still Hazard 4.5, so the enemies will be playing for keeps, but otherwise, there really aren't any tricks up this mission's sleeve. My main advice would be get every last bit of nitra, because the missions 2 and 3 are going to eat up a ton ton of ammo, so please grab all of the nitra. But that's going to take us into Mission 2 of the Elite Deep Dive. Difficulty is upgraded to Full Hazard 5, and this is the hard mission of the series. Ugh, get ready, buckle up. Objectives are to collect 225 Morkite, and you're going to have to take out a Dreadnought. It will specifically be a Glyphid Dreadnought, the standard one. There is a mutator in effect. It is Cave Leech Cluster, and I counted 9. I counted that I knocked 9 of those Cave Leeches out. Here's how the way the mission works, though. The theme of this mission is that there will be constant enemy attacks. Like, you will be saying stuff like, what, another swarm? I just took out a swarm not too long ago. I can't believe there's another one. And what it does is, if you go too slow, then the swarms are going to threaten to take all of your ammo, and then you'll lose because you run out of ammo. Then when you try to go fast, the cave leeches are going to prey on your recklessness. So you're really caught between a rock and a hard place, caught between Charybdis and Scylla right here. You need to go quickly, but in an organized manner, and it's going to be rough. Lots of inopportune attacks, like get ready to fight in cramped areas, get ready to fight in tunnels. Having a character that can really hold ground and not give up ground, a character like the Gunner, for example, with the ability to deploy those shields to hold the enemy back, is really going to pay dividends here, and the Scout is also going to really help you locate 9 of those cave leeches. Anyways, as far as the mission review goes, the boss is very close to the beginning of the level, and it's kind of hard to find a nice place to fight it. You do need space because of the extremely dangerous Glyphid Dreadnought Stomp. If you brought a sludge combo driller, then this fight isn't a big deal. We did not, though, so it's tough to find a good place to fight it. If you don't have the sludge combo, the best thing to do is try to do damage when the Dreadnought stomps. The stomp is dangerous, but it holds still in a predictable manner whenever it does it, and that's a really big opportunity to do damage. Keep in mind that the signals that it's going to stomp is that it roars, and then you will see little, like, rocks on the ground. I guess it's like powering up like it's Dragon Ball or something, but that's your chance to do some damage. For a quick rundown of the surprise enemies, I found my first cave leech near the cocoon. Hopefully they all appear in a similar location to you. Then I found a spitball infector in a small cave. Apologies, it's hard to describe some of these locations. Then I found cave leeches 2 and 3 in kind of a half cave, half junction area. It's like a very small cave area. They were side by side is the main thing. Then very deep into the cave, you'll find a really huge cave area where I found 4 cave leeches distributed everywhere kind of evenly, except there were 2 in a slippery ice area. The last 2 were in the final chamber, where I also found 1 brood nexus and 1 more spitball infector. And of course, as one last FU, they did bring in a detonator. But that is going to take us into Mission 3. Difficulty is bumped all the way up to Hazard 5.5. Objectives will be to collect 6 alien eggs. Expect 2 swarms triggered out of the 6 eggs. You'll also have to recover a black box. This is like doing one of the defenses in the salvage operation. You know, the one where you gotta fix the device, stay within the ring, wait for the gauge to fill up. And welcome back to the mutator. Warning, Swarmageddon. This time it's gonna be a lots of swarmlings. Now, it might sound a little strange for me to say this, but honestly, the final mission was kind of routine. That didn't mean it was easy. It just means that it was a very honest mission. You got exactly what is advertised. You're going to collect eggs, you're going to get a black box, there's going to be an absolute buttload of swarmlings, but that was about it. The only item of note was a golden loot bug, but that was about it. My advice here would be get all of the nitra. Oh my god, you need the nitra. The constant swarmlings are going to eat up your supplies, and I would suggest, yes, use your ammo pods, but try to save maybe 2 of them for the black box. The black box will have 2 eggs near it, so gobble up the eggs and just leave the 2 eggs by the black box, and then just summon in your ammo, and that's going to be your last stand. You're going to win or lose on the black box. When the enemies attack during the defense, they are going to be sending kind of everything. There wasn't really a uniformity to the composition. It's going to be swarmlings, glyphids, those netocite electro jellyfish guys. There's even some aerial strikes, like you can expect some Macteras. It's just kind of a little bit, well, not a little bit, it's just a bit of everything. And the strategy that worked for us was a gunner-scout combo. Scout has the pheromone grenades, which lets you force the enemy into attacking one another. Do note that it doesn't seem like the swarmlings care about the pheromones. They just come right after you anyways. But the other thing that really helps, because the pheromones give you breathing room, but so does the gunner shield. You deploy the shield and it lets you stay inside the objective. If you get out of the objective, you start losing progress, and the longer it takes for you to capture the black box, the longer the enemies are going to continuously attack. So you want to stay in it the entire time if possible, and having this pheromone strategy with the scout to disrupt the enemy, and having this gunner shield generator so that you can just hold the line inside there actually worked beautifully. I would say at no point in time were we ever really at risk of losing, because that synergy works so well. But let's go ahead and wrap things up with the class recommendations, beginning with the deep dive. I think the driller really plays a good value here, because you got to knock out the two dreadnoughts, you know, the twins and the hive guard, bring out that driller with the sludge pump and the cullet wave cooker. That makes the bosses just almost trivial. It's just so good. The wave cooker is also really good against swarmlings. It's really good against exploders. The drills themselves also quite good against the swarm. Don't drill the exploders. I wouldn't recommend that. You also can drill for the quarks quite easily, and then the perfect complement for him is either going to be the gunner, who's going to be really good at the escort mission, or the engineer, who's also going to be very good at the escort mission, very good at knocking down the rocks. And the driller can knock down the beamers, and if you are the gunner, you can also just shoot the tips of the beamers off. You do that, and I don't think you're really going to be having any problems. Now, for the elite deep dive, I really think my pal Sheriff Crab and I had the right setup. The gunner and the scout. The scout is going to help you find all of the nitro. You need so much ammo. You use up so much in Mission 2 and 3. You need like every scrap of nitro you can get. Also, Cave Leech Cluster. Who better to deal with the Cave Leech Cluster than a scout? He's going to be able to illuminate the ceiling. There could be nitro on the ceiling and you don't know it. There could be cave leeches on the ceiling and you don't know it until they attack you. And then on the flip side, you've got the gunner. The gunner, he is going to be able to hold down the black box. The scout's going to be able to contribute those pheromone grenades. But also, there's a lot of nasty fights in the second mission. You may find yourself trapped in a cave tunnel. That is a bad place for the scout, but with the gunner, you can hold the line. You can turn the enemies against themselves with the pheromone grenades, and then the gunner can just hose them down as they cluster together. So I honestly think that is a really good set. Obviously, if you have all the characters, then you can combine your efforts together, but if you're playing with 4 people, please try to be efficient with your ammo, because there is a decent bit of nitro, but good gravy, there is a decent amount of enemies. So that would be my class recommendations for this week's Deep Dive and Elite Deep Dive. If you'd like to see the full struggle of me going through it, actually we did pretty good to be totally honest, then check me out on Twitch at GetGoodFox. If you don't like Twitch, then I'm also uploading the Twitch VODs to GetGoodFox VODs on YouTube. And of course I do faster, more condensed stuff on both TikTok and even screenshots on Instagram. So come back next week and you can catch all of the videos live on Twitch, or just wait on YouTube and I will have a condensed variation of it and show you how to get through the deep dive and elite deep dive for that week, so you can bring in all of those beautiful Matrix cores. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Like the video if it was entertaining. Subscribe for future Deep Rock Galactic content. Of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.